Welcome. I'm Liz Perry, the director of the Harvard-Yenching Institute, and this is a roundtable organized by the Harvard-Yenching Institute that intends to open up a discussion about comparisons between China and India on the theme of state capacity and local governance. On the roundtable today, we have altogether 7 scholars. 3 will be here for the first session, then we'll take a bit of a break, and then we'll come back and 4 other scholars will present their ideas relatively briefly. We'll be considering a number of questions. We'll be asking how these 2 giants of Asia compare in terms of their ability both to manage and also to calm down or mollify their citizens. Both of them have had to deal with both of those issues. How well does each of them cope on the ground with the huge challenges that they face in terms of inequality, in terms of poverty, protest, ethnic conflict, environmental degradation, sustainable forms of industrialization? How effectively do the central and local governments manage to cooperate on these issues, or do they instead sometimes conflict with each other or contradict each other in their approaches? And what lessons can we draw from China and India's relative successes or shortcomings in this respects? What do they tell us, if anything, about the larger question of democratic versus non-democratic governance in the 21st century? In the first panel, we'll be looking a little more at macro perspectives on this question. In the second panel, a little more micro, getting a little closer to the ground, although there's obviously no hard and fast difference between them. And for the first panel, we have 3 outstanding scholars. Prasenjit Duara, who joins us today from the National University of Singapore. Professor Duara is Raffles Professor of the Humanities at NUS. He is also director of the Asia Research Institute and director of Humanities and Social Science Research at that university. Professor Duara received his doctoral degree from this university in the field of Chinese history and taught for a number of years at a variety of universities in the U.S., perhaps spent more time at the University of Chicago, I think, than any other, and left Chicago a few years ago, where he was chair of both the China program and the history department, to take up his post at NUS. He's written very widely on questions of state building, development, religion, globalization as it affects China, and he's also, in a number of his essays, done some very interesting China-India comparisons. Professor Duara will speak a little longer. We had originally suggested shorter presentations, but as he pointed out to me, after all, the Harvard-Yenching Institute had paid for him to come all the way from Singapore to join us, so we agreed that he would have a little more time at the beginning, and then we'll turn to 2 colleagues closer at home, and I'll introduce each of them, Professor Huang Yasheng and Professor Tarun Khanna, just before they speak. But please first join me in welcoming Professor Prasenjit Duara.